My name is Bo Thiesson, and I'm a data scientist at Kaunt. I've been working with AI most of my life, both here in Denmark, but also in the US. And AI is a very complex mechanism. And if that AI has been trained from data, what it has learned is to replicate whatever signals are in this data, right? So that leaves in plenty of opportunities to actually build in all sorts of biases if you are not careful. And therefore this is the situation where AI becomes a little bit scary because a bad decision made on one of these biases can in situations have grave consequences. And one thing we could do is that we could try and open up the AI brain, right, and see what's going on in there. And to the horror, of course, we will discover that it's just, hundreds of thousands of connections or even millions of connections between nodes or neurons in this brain. And so there's no possible way we can start even beginning to think about what's going on in here and what's not going on in here. So that's also why people in these situations where a lot of risk is involved in the AI sometimes prefer simpler models. So models like decision trees or linear models or logistic models, because there's nothing unexpected. But fortunately, we don't need to understand what's going on to be happy about using an AI in the right way. We don't need to know all kinds of way that this AI could behave given some weird input. What we need to know is how this AI actually behaves given individual input. So there's a huge difference in how could it behave and how does it behave. So if we look at how it does behave, then we give it some input, and now the AI has to make a decision. And the way the AI makes a decision is that it doesn't need to use the whole brain. If it's just a particular decision it's making, it's only using kind of a small parts of the brain around the decision that it's going to make. Many of these decisions can be described by a linear combinations of the input. And that's the mother principle behind most of these artificial intelligence explanation methods. That is that they go in and they make this surgical cut in the brain, pull out this linear explanation, and then give that explanation to you. And it's a linear explanation. That's something we can relate to as human beings. So now we are happy about this explanation to the decision that's actually been taken. So this is how in principle it works for us or for most AI methods.